8:45 a.m. This is News and Views on Salam Media. Next week, cross over to the Western Cape. We will be talking with Abdud-Dayaan Keown. I think I'm mispronouncing the name, but he will correct me in a minute or two, inshallah. I've come across something really outrageous, and I am outraged, and I think that collectively here in South Africa, we should be outraged given the unemployment rate in our country and given the disparity between rich and poor. So we're looking at Cape Town City threatening Cape Town residents jail time or an 800,000 Rand fine if they are found to be selling goods from their homes. Absolutely ridiculous situation. But of course, our guest Abdud-Dayaan will be unpacking for us. He is a social housing activist. Assalamu alaikum to you. Welcome to the program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to you and to all our viewers and listeners out there. Yes, it's Abdud-Dayaan.
Dayaan. Okay, I do apologize.
No
My
problem.
producer has misspelled the name on my script, and that is why I got all tongue-tied. And how do we say your surname, please?
It's Keown.
Keown. Okay, there you go. Okay, so you are a social housing activist, and did you feel as outraged as I was reading this piece? I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've come across, given that there's issues in on the Cape Flats and all around South Africa and globally regarding unemployment, drug addiction, human trafficking, and everything else that goes with it. And do these people not have any other work to do?
City of Cape Town has become the bylaw capital of the country. We are living in a city that treats survival as a crime. When you have municipal police deployed to target grannies, trying to make ends meet, the system is no longer serving the public. It is waging actually war on the poor. And these grannies are not cartels or syndicate bosses. They're the bedrock of our townships and working class survival. Finding a granny who is selling sweets, chips, or veggies on a street corner is an act of economic violence. It doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with anyone in our society. Shouldn't sit well with anyone in our society. And as you said, the whole country is facing a cost of living crisis, staggering unemployment, failing social safety nets. When the state fails to provide, citizens turn to self-reliance, informal trading. Cape Town's response is to find them money they don't have, pulling them deeper into poverty. It just doesn't sit well with me, doesn't sit well with anyone. It shouldn't, as I said, sit well with anyone, where you have a city with so much inequalities. And as I said, it's become the bylaw capital of the country. And with a structural anti-poor policy. They've earned this reputation for having some of the most punitive, meticulously enforced municipal bylaws in South Africa. If you have to contrast, yes.
Apologies for the interruption. Okay, let's look at what the Deputy Mayor, Eddie Andrews, had said regarding this matter. He claims that they're acting on complaints and of course, under the City of Cape Town bylaws, and that zoning laws should apply equally to all residents. But clearly, if you go to the Camps Bay and to Sea Point and onwards, we do know that those areas are absolutely infiltrated with foreigners coming in and buying up properties with their dollars and their pounds, etc. So this is really a tale of two cities here. So those people are living lives of luxury unbelievable luxury. When I kind of look at the property prices there, I'm shocked out of my wits. Nothing is selling under maybe 15 million rands, and it goes up to even 100 million rands for a property. We're talking here now about the stark comparison with the Cape Flats and also the townships in the Western Cape, where poverty stares you directly in the face. So, what's the next step then? How do we go forward? And on top of this, to add insult to injury, the Cape Town City Council wants to even build a wall from, starting from the airport way down to perhaps who are they protecting? Visitors, the rich from the poor? Are they protecting an eyesore? What is it that they don't want? Uh, the other half, the privileged half of South Africa and the tourists to see or not to see with the building of the wall. It sounds like the wall of Berlin and it sounds like the apartheid wall in Israel to me. Your thoughts?
Certainly, it is a wall, and this wall is, of course, defining um, the city of Cape Town as becoming an apartheid town or based on economics. They're obsessed with this um, aesthetics over humanity of being called a world class city. But this model assumes that poverty is an eyesore that needs to be scrubbed from public view rather than socio-economic crisis that needs to be solved. They want the labor basically of the poor to clean the streets and build the high rises, but they don't want the presence of the poor on their sidewalks when they're trying to feed their children. And it's actually becoming the weaponizing um, law enforcement by actually scrubbing the poor from the city. And it's all about, to them, about aesthetics, not about humanity. Under these bylaws, the person's desperate attempt to survive is recategorized as a public nuisance or an obstruction. And as you rightly are saying, this is a tale of two cities. You have Camps Bay, you have Khayelitsha, you have Mitchell's Plain, you have Plattekloof, you have Rondebosch. One, I'm sure you've come to Cape Town via airplane already, and you look down on a clear day, and you actually see beautiful seas, and all of a sudden, as you land, on the one side you see the squatter, the squalor, and now they want to hide all of this with this wall. It's economic apartheid. That is what we're actually going into, what the city is actually planning on
Right.
doing. It's not about security, it's about economics and their perception, what the world needs to see from them. And this is a problem that we're actually experiencing.
Local elections are coming up, and I do hope and pray that people apply their minds to where they're going to place their crosses, because this is clearly the workings of a DA government. That having been said, let's look at what is being done now. We've talked about the wall, and I do know there are activists that are busy fighting on that front. But what about these poor grannies and moms who are wanting to feed their children? They're not employed, and this is their only means of survival. What are you, as a social housing activist and other such activists, doing regarding this matter is concerned? And have you brought the matter to people like um, Deputy Mayor Eddie Andrews and bringing the reality to them, and perhaps trying to map a way forward to stop harassing people who are trying to make an honest living? Why don't they
Yeah.
try and take out the drug lords? We know that drug trafficking is rife in and on the Cape Flats.
You've actually hit the nail on the head now. Um, they're using all these specialized law enforcement units that they've created um, to police public spaces, police these so-called nuisances. Um, and if you look at it, the treatment that they are actually metering out to these grannies isn't an isolated incident. It is part of a broader systemic pattern of spatial apartheid and displacement. Um, if you have to look at how the city has been using this streets and public places and prevention of noise nuisances bylaw to fine unhoused people for sleeping on pavements or washing in public. You look at our informal traders, the ongoing struggles of them in the CBD, Gatesville, Mitchell's Plain, who face constant harassment, permit blockades, and arbitrary confiscation of goods. You'll find these law enforcement pulling up in massive numbers and just collecting and confiscating these goods of these people that's trying to make ends meet. It's a spatial apartheid refined. The Group Areas Act might be gone, but the municipal bylaws act as a modern invisible fence by making it nearly impossible to trade informally without prohibitive bureaucratic permits. Um, the city keeps the poorest residents economically segregated on the margins. And trying to talk to Eddie Andrews, you need to send him an email, and you'll be very fortunate, extremely fortunate, if he responds to that email. You send him a WhatsApp message, and you know you can easily see if someone reads a WhatsApp message. Are you going to get a response? You're fortunate if
Okay.
you do get a response from them. And
All right.
only once it hits the media, really, that is when they try and contradict themselves. And as you said, we're hoping and praying that people would actually, during the coming local government elections, realize that there is issues. The DA, through the city of Cape Town, has weaponized all of these things and forcing people into more poverty. And they're making everything that you're doing to eke out a living, they're trying to make it illegitimate, make it illegal. This law that they've created is actually an illegitimate law. And once the election comes, people need to think twice before putting their cross on that ballot paper.
Okay, Abdud-Dayaan Keown, social housing activist. We're going to have to wrap up. We've got about a minute or so. The all important questions. We are saying people must be mindful of where they place their cross in the upcoming local elections. But apart from that, what are you as activists doing to stop this this discrimination and this hardship and placing, and these barriers for innocent people to eke out a living? What is it that you guys are currently active in making sure that this harassment doesn't continue on the old grannies and the poorest of the poor in the townships?
Well, what we are busy doing is we taking this to the media. We are sensitizing our residents about this, and we're actually trying to engage the city of Cape Town through their ward councillors. Um, and most of these ward councillors, being DA, um, they've got a one track mind, but we basically getting the residents to stand up. We regularly get them to, when something's going to about to happen and we hear about it, we get the community to go out there in force to try and stop and prevent this from taking place. Um, and instead of deploying law enforcement with fine books, they should deploy economic development department with support, infrastructure, and micro grants. This is what we're trying to tell the city, but it's a city that's tone deaf to the poorest of the poor because of their vision of what the city should look like. Um, they're trying to recreate a New York where
Yeah, I
Tokyo.
they tone deaf and they choose to be blind to people of color. People of color are invisible to them. But like I said, the local elections, let it count. And these are the very people that need to make sure that they then, elect representatives in government, in local councils that are going to serve them and serve them well. Abdud-Dayaan Keown, social housing activist, thank you indeed for bringing this matter to our attention. And I do hope that you're going to get a groundswell of support against this crazy, crazy situation in your part of the world. Go well and keep up the great work. Assalamu alaikum to you.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and shukran for having me on your program.
It's gone 1 minute after 9 o'clock. Thank you for being with us thus far. And a reminder that our second hour of news and views is brought to you by Africa Muslims Agencies. And in this hour as well, we are going to be taking a listen to the Fired Up series with Hafiz Imran Chunara. And the topic today is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. So do listen to that amazing series, the Fired Up series, and lots more to come in this second hour of the show. Do stay with us right here on News and Views on Salam Media.